You're listening to Factual America.
There are several versions of this film, but I wanted to get rid of what everybody thought I was going to talk about and paint, and that was, he was a criminal.
Yeah.
He basically had the misfortune in one way of being put in reform school. But the truth of it was, he was a criminal. He actually did hold up grocery stores and various other stores. Why? Because he wanted to get home.
Yeah.
He was, they went to California and ran out of money, and they had to get home. Now, I don't suppose that everybody should say as soon as you run out of money, you should either get onto your folks and get some money sent out so you can get home. If you and I had done it, well, that's probably what we would have done. But you've got to know where he came from. His father was a very senior member of the church. And, he was very religious at the beginning. He reckoned he was saving it up to basically the very, very end. And he'd done his religious giving at the beginning, which I always thought was an interesting statement. He said, I gave too much to my whoever. And at the end of the day, he said, I'll leave that up to the end. But I think that he realized that money could be made, and he was interested in making money, but he also wanted people to dance, and he wanted people to basically jump around at his music, and he certainly got that going. I mean, if the Stones, if we never had Chuck Berry, the Stones would probably be around, but we'd have a very different band.
Yeah. And
it would be a very different band. So, I think, when he went into prison for the Mann Act, which was after he'd done at a reform school that he was in, he'd done time, and I think it really annoyed him. But there's another thing. When he went to the tax problem, he was offered another deal, and he worked it out that, and I won't disclose the deal, but the deal meant that he would be losing a lot of money. So going in and writing the book and sitting in this very sort of, not prison, but sort of open prison, was a better deal. And as a businessman, I think that sums it up.
Well, as the former economist in me is like, he obviously didn't value his free time highly enough, I think, if he would put that into the...
Which is an interesting concept in the whole situation.
Hey, why now? Why have you made this film now?
Because it would never have been made if he was alive.
Is that right?
I tried to make it. I tried to go down there. The security was a big problem, because I was told that if you didn't like what you did, he'll shoot you. And I said, well, I don't think that's a good idea. So I put it off until I was... I put it off till I was in the area, and I was down in sort of in the area in New Orleans,
right?
And everyone said he'd made the other film, and the problem was, he was so seriously a problem, because I think it started at $80,000 to make Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll, and he ended up taking just under $1 million, because he kept rewriting his contract every day.
Yeah,
which wasn't normal for him, because when he came to a deal, but he used to say, well, in making a film, we have to rehearse. So every time they did a take, he said, that's more money. Yeah. And eventually they said, look, you can't go on like this. We've got people out here but we can't work like that. And he used to literally, and I saw footage of it, he'd literally say, you lot stay over there until I've got my money. And that had to be produced every day on the set. So, you know, they would go by, half a day would go by, and it's costing them hundreds of thousands.
And they already had all these sunk costs in there, so they must have said, we gotta.
That's right. And
Gotta,
but for you to, and I'll say something about the Stones in a minute, but you or Keith rather, you basically understand that the studios, Universal, was really seriously a problem to the whole. So for me to come down there,
right,
and try and get out of Chuck, you would have got nothing. I got more. That Fermata's interview was the only interview she's ever done in her life.